back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I am Julia. I'm a Buffalo-based content creator and I love making videos about lifestyle, travel, owning your own business, hauls, all the things. And today I'm super excited because today I'm joined by my husband and the dog, and we're gonna do a 2024 recap video for you guys. Last year when I did a 2023 recap video, I did it alone, and it was one of the videos that Matt said that he actually enjoyed watching the most. And so we're gonna do it in a similar style this year, where we're gonna literally pop open my camera roll and go through the year and share highlights from the year, share maybe like some stories or just like some little tidbit of things, because I will definitely say, and I won't speak for us, but 2024 was absolutely the most everything year of my life. Like, it was the best. It was also the most, I feel like, heartbreaking. Like, it was heart-filling and heartbreaking. It was stressful and exhilarating and fun and fulfilling, and it was just the best, overall best year of my life. It was filled with so many different things. And the year started off really strong for us. So that's why I felt like it would be fun to kind of sit down together, talk about 2024, share highlights, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it started off strong, but it was, I've described it as like the single most year of like life.
Yep.
Like you experiencing every high and every low, busyness throughout the entire year. And also when we weren't busy, enjoying not being busy.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of being present in what we were experiencing at the time, and it, when you look back on it as a 12-month total, it's like, wow, a lot happened.
Yep.
And in the best ways, in the best ways possible. It's like the year of years.
Yep.
Is the way I described it when we were talking about making this video.
So let's kick it off. Hold on, I still feel like you guys are so far.
It's pretty far away.
I'll bring you guys a little bit closer. So basically what I'm gonna do also, as I'm going through this with you guys, I'm literally just gonna be selecting different things on my camera roll. I'm not gonna go like this every single time. Matt and I are gonna look at the piece of media. I will then pop it here, so you guys will get to see what it is that we are looking at. So basically, as I go through the year, I'm just gonna be selecting different pieces of content that then I'm gonna end up airdropping over to my laptop to kind of serve as the little additional visual element for you guys to like feel like this is a little bit more immersive, rather than us just like talking and saying these things happened, getting to show you the visual behind what the thing is. So the year started off really strong with an exciting brand deal for me, and I'm not gonna go through, Matt joked at the start of this video, Matt's like, are we gonna literally be like, on this date I got this package from this brand? No, I'm not gonna take you guys through every single brand deal that I got, but there are certain brands that I feel really excited about and or proud of as a creator when it comes to having things gifted. And Tilden, a non-alcoholic cocktail brand, is one of those brands. I really like the founders. I really like what they're about. I absolutely love the product. And so we started 2024 off strong by having Tilden send me over some of their non-alcoholic cocktails. So that was super exciting. And then January was fun. We did a belated Christmas with my mom, which was really nice. I ended up getting sick for Christmas, so we kicked off January by going to Pittsburgh and having a little like belated Christmas with my mom, which was super low-key, but again, it was really nice to get to do that. And then basically the major highlight of January was then we got engaged.
January 20th.
January 20th we went to, go ahead.
Well, the whole week preceding engagement was snowstorm. Like the entire week. It snowed the entire week before. Every single day. I've never seen it so dark and just look like the same every single day. In terms of, you wake up, it's snowing. You go to bed, it's snowing. Initially was planning an outside engagement, and I know there's a video where we talk about our engagement, but that was for sure the highlight of January.
These photos are amazing, you guys. There are like so many good ones, and this was also the start, which is exciting and kind of an important part of our 2024. Matt booked an incredible photographer, and if you guys watched our wedding video, our recap of our wedding, you guys know this photographer already. Matt found Katie to take these photos, and that served as the start of our relationship to Katie, which ended up being extremely significant for us when we get to our wedding. So also just the fact of like looking back at the start of this year, it's like we started 2024 off by getting some quality time with my mom, and then literally we got engaged, and at no point in January 2024 when we got engaged. Like, we were not thinking we were gonna have a very short engagement, which is what ended up happening. And we'll kind of get into that as we go through the year, but oh yeah, and you had gotten all these yellow flowers to celebrate. Oh, it was just really, really special. It was really special. And there happened to be, so the Market Arcade was basically empty when we got engaged. It was a super cold and like snowy Saturday, and we went to the Market Arcade, and Matt told me that we were like gonna go and take pictures for like Abercrombie and brand stuff, because I had recently been let into Abercrombie's creator program. So that was also a very exciting highlight that either happened at the start of January or at the way end of December. But yeah, so that's how he got me going to the Market Arcade under the guise of like kind of looking cute and whatever. And there was this I think mother-daughter who were at the Market Arcade who happened to capture the proposal as it was happening. So that's super cute because they got some photos of it. Then that weekend we ended up just like hanging out for the rest of the weekend. We went to your mom's the day after, got to see her, got to see the dogs, and kind of celebrate that a little bit. Then February was cool. I did some different brand deals. I did a brand deal with Snow Days. I did a brand deal with Canyon Bakehouse. You got your nice new watch,
Oh yeah,
which is super exciting.
Right before going to Amsterdam.
Yes, right before you went to Amsterdam. And
now you almost,
and then I almost
there was a flinch there. There was some pictures of Julia in her wedding dress.
And then I tried on my wedding dress. And then I had the biggest speaking gig of my entire career. That was a huge highlight. So now we're into the start of February. So February kicked off strong with my doing this incredible 3-hour-long workshop where I got to speak, got to teach a bunch of nonprofits all about social media. It was a huge highlight for me, not only to do that, but also I hired my friend Brendan, who's a videographer, to come and capture all of it. And those videos have been so tremendous for me to get to use throughout this entire last year to kind of showcase my skills as a public speaker. So that was February. We did some kind of like Valentine's Day content in the apartment, which is super cute. I definitely want to do something similar this year of doing some like Valentine's Day themed outfits.
A lot of content shooting.
A lot of content
which is
in February.
Interesting to look back on.
And
another speaking event.
And then at the end of February was another major highlight for me, a major speaking event. I was the keynote speaker for the University of Buffalo's Career Passport program for the undergraduates. So I got to speak to about 170 undergrads, a huge room in the Center for the Arts, got to talk to them all about social media. And then we got a really cool opportunity. We went to Lloyd. So we got invited from Lloyd Taco to go to Lloyd to eat some food. They filmed it. They made a video about it for social media. It was really, really cool. Yeah, that was February. And then more content, more brand deals. I got to do a brand deal with Tufayan. I'm not going to show you guys a picture of that. And then it was March. In March, I went to Denver to visit someone who I'm literally no longer friends with, so we're not going to show pictures of her because it's not relevant. But it was a fun trip, and it was a nice way to end out our friendship. If I look at that in hindsight as the last thing that I did with this person, it was fun. We had a good time. We saw Chelsea Cutler. Chelsea Cutler ended up liking some of the content that I posted from her concert, so that was super, super cool. Again, I'd show you photos of it, but I just actually don't even want to show this person's face on my social content anymore, so we're not going to show you that. But I'll show you a super cute picture of me at that person's house before we went for dinner. Then, you guys, I came home, and I know we're still on brand deal stuff, but when I came home from that trip, I had a package from Abercrombie of multiple different dresses from their bridal line. And I freaking screeched because that was such a tremendous highlight for me to get. And literally, I will be wearing those dresses in 2025 for mine and Matt's party that we're having. So that was freaking unbelievable. Then I went and got some more hand tattoos from my favorite and only tattoo artist, Mel. We got gifted, which I'm also, you know what, I will show it. We got gifted so then we had a closet collapse situation in the apartment. Literally, my closet fully collapsed, and we got gifted a clothing rack to use for extra storage stuff. So that was also super nice. There was the solar eclipse. We're already into April, I guess. Wow, okay. We watched the solar eclipse.
We didn't see much.
Yeah, there really wasn't.
At least for us, we had some cloud cover.
Yes. So. And then, major highlight, we got to go to Rochester to see our friends Katie and Matt and meet for the first time their baby Ray. He's so cute. I can't believe how much he's grown since these pictures. It's unfreaking believable. We then got the invitation proof of what our wedding invitation looked like. So here, let me say
when
that
did we
in the
decide?
middle.
When did we decide when we were gonna?
In the interim, what I don't have pictures of is multiple mental breakdowns and like crying sessions on this couch because, and it's actually not surprising looking back that there aren't like a ton of photos in February and March, because that was really when I'll say like shit hit the fan in the terms of like my stepmom's health really declined. So Ronnie got really sick. She was fighting cancer for years, but she was really starting to decline at the start of 2024. That by, I would say, mid-February, Matt and I realized that there was just no way, that we just knew she wasn't going to be alive in the summer of 2025, which is when we're having our 1-year anniversary party and like our big banger. And that's kind of when we were thinking we would do our wedding. But we realized Ronnie was not going to make it then. And we also are always mindful because Matt's grandparents are older and they're in amazing shape. I am like, every time I see them, I'm so grateful because I really do feel like they are in such good shape and such good health. But we're mindful of time just being precious. And so in the combination of Matt's 2 grandparents and Ronnie, we were like, you know what? We don't really want to wait until the summer of 2025 to have our wedding ceremony.
Yeah, and I remember we were trying to get down to New York in January.
Yes.
And then obviously we got engaged. And then in February, and it wasn't a good time to come down. And it was in that period, I think a lot of things were happening, and we were sort of just, you make a judgment call. Like there was a lot of judgment calls this year.
Yes.
And it was an example of like life happens, you got to make a decision, and you can live to regret that decision, or you can just keep moving forward and put your best foot forward. And we did that in being like, hey, we should do something this summer. Have it be smaller, because at that point you're not going to find a huge venue to have almost 200 people there. And everything that goes into that, even if we wanted that at the time. And it was just, let's do this. Let's move forward with something small this summer, because it felt the best we could do.
Yep. And it felt most important. It felt more important for us to know. And granted, this didn't even end up happening, but we wanted to know that we would have Ronnie and Matt's grandparents there. That was more important than having some big, grand wedding ceremony. And also, Matt and I definitely are the kind of people, like, as much as we like being the center of attention when it comes to, like, a kind of professional space, neither one of us, like, really needs or craves that kind of attention when it comes to personal things. And we'll have a blast at our party next year. But neither one of us had these grand visions of having these big, tremendous weddings. Like, that just wasn't a thing for either one of us. It's like, oh, I've always dreamed of having this like 200 person. That just wasn't a thing. So we decided on doing the small ceremony. Probably
March, right?
And
for us to have an invitation in April.
Exactly. And then Allison and Nick from Rust Belt Love worked on a draft for us to have a gorgeous, like hand-drawn wedding invitation. At that same time as well, my aunt was working on planning a little engagement party for us in June. So that was also kind of like in the mix of things being planned for. Next up in April, some brand deals, some content, some fun new nails. And then we went to Matt's mom's to get some time with our nephew, Jack. So we went over there, got some time with Jack, which was really fun. And then Matt and I did a fun little photo shoot. I had a few different outfits that I like really specifically wanted to get content around. So Matt and I popped around to some different areas in Buffalo, and
which I will say is a great reminder that looking at early April and seeing bright blue skies and spring happening is nice, because it's the middle of December and it's gray, and it's been gray for like 3 days. And we're just entering or in the middle of winter, and I'm like, oh, Winter was pretty short last year.
Yes, it really was. And so yeah, by mid-April, it was nice enough that I was able to do a fun photo shoot with my friend Beth. She took some insane pictures of me in the downtown area. Again, content that I used on my new website, which launches pretty soon, coming up in this time frame here. And yeah, it was just so exciting to get some fresh photos for my website and just for content. Looks like you and I had maybe a date night or some kind of road trip or something with Gouda. We went for dinner with our best friends Anya and JP. I've got a cute picture of me and Anya. Matt and I being goofs at home. Oh, then it's I was like, then it's our anniversary. Matt got me a pair of Nike Dunks, the Panda Dunks. And then I did a fun little dinner with my friend Miranda where we made some content together. We made Crunch Wrap Supremes. They were so freaking good.
Hungry.
So good. Miranda actually made one for Matt and that I brought home for him. Those were freaking delicious, so that was really fun. And then we got into May, and May is when we kicked off the Goodwill Ambassador Program, which I created. And so we're about to get into now territory where we have a lot of Goodwill content in the feed, like a whole lot. I started meeting up with different creators, just getting different content of them. So I'm gonna pop in a cutie little picture of my friend Carla, who I refer to as Polly Pocket because she's just like so little and cute and I love her. So May really started like a huge new chapter for me in my career. Honestly, it is if I had to pick one singular thing that I'm the most proud of in 2024 when it comes to my career, it is this program that I created. This program of 10 women that have become like this, like, you know what, I shouldn't say 10, 11, myself included. The 11 of us have grown so close, not just as creators, but as human beings. The program has skyrocketed the hell out of the stats for Goodwill on social media. The level of closeness, intimacy, caring, love, support in that group is unbelievable. Literally, the ambassadors go out and thrift and they will find things that are each other's style and buy things for each other at different locations. It's unbelievable. Now one of the ambassadors is working for one of the other ambassadors. There's just so much good stuff that goes on in our chat, and I'm so proud of it and so proud of the community I created with that. So that is a major 2024 highlight for me. Then we had a fun little weekly dinner club with Matt's grandparents. So that is something that I will say at the end of 2024 has fallen off, but at the start of 2024, this was a major part of our every single week. We would go over to Matt's grandparents' house, make them dinner every single week on Tuesdays, and have a weekly dinner. And things got so busy for us from right before our wedding on that we've only gotten a handful of dinner clubs in. So 2025, a major goal of mine is to kick off weekly dinner club because it's very important to the both of us. So then getting into early May, we did a little Coonies date night, and then we got our final invitations back for our actual wedding ceremony to get those sent out, and then I started my dress fitting. So I had my first dress fitting appointment, which was so exciting. My mom came into town and we then all went to the Albright Knox together.
AKG.
Yeah, AKG. You want to chime in?
Throw in some photos from that. No, it was another quick weekend.
Yes.
Which is kind of, I'm seeing like parts of these photos and I'm like, yeah, did so much, but a lot of like quick trips, a lot of purposeful weekends is the best way I would describe it. Like there was no time spared.
And I did a little brand deal with my mom for Mother's Day.
Right.
So did a little video for Canyon Bakehouse. And I spoke at the Buffalo Boss Babes event. And my mom came. And my mom got to see me speak. So that was super cool. Then we got a fun PR package from Element. They came out with these new like sparkling electrolyte drinks and sent those to us, which was awesome. Then I got my Gouda tattoo, which is one of my favorite tattoos ever. I am obsessed with it. So that was really exciting. And that was the that was the start of May. And then the middle of May is when Ronnie died. And that was just the worst. That was the hardest part of 2024 by far. It was so sad. Not just her dying, obviously her dying was so sad. And I still miss her so much. It's crazy. I've been missing her more recently, I think, as just it's like really settled in, the permanence of her loss now that it's been like 6 months has really hit. And so there are just these moments where I realize like, oh my God, I'm never gonna like hear from her. Like I can hear in my head the little giggle that my grandma would have and that Ronnie would have if I told them the revenue number that my business hit this year. And there's just a sadness and a grief to mourning. There's something beautiful to being able to hear those sounds in your head and try to recreate that, but there's a deep level of grief to having life milestones and things like that. Matt got a major promotion this year, biggest promotion he's ever gotten in his career, the biggest promotion I've literally ever heard a human get in a year, literally. And Matt's dad isn't with us either, and there's just this element of grief that when you have these big major life milestones and moments happen, that it just hits different, because you just realize you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna be able to interact with that person and hear them and hear their joy about something. So that was really hard. And I will say that her funeral was one of the most beautiful but also devastatingly sad funerals I've ever been to. I've never cried more in a single day in my entire life than on Ronnie's funeral day. Just never experienced that level of sadness in my life. The beauty of that was that I got to meet Ronnie's best friend, Sue, and I owe Sue a text, but I've got this cute photo of Sue and I that we took right before I hopped into a cab to come back home. And came home to these gorgeous flowers that my sweet friend Katie sent, because Katie Costello is the most thoughtful person in the world. But getting to connect with Sue and meet Ronnie's friend and developing a new relationship with her, because Sarah and I stayed with her and her husband at their gorgeous house with their sweet dog. They generously opened their doors for us to stay. And so getting that time with Sue was really special. And then literally I came home, was home for like literally not even 2 days. I was home for an afternoon and 1 full day, and then Matt and I hit the road and went to go to my dad to go get more time with my dad. My dad actually ended up getting sick and getting COVID. So we went to my dad's and basically took care of my dad for a week. We got some quality time with my cousin. We went over to my cousin's house. I got my nails done in Port Washington. I actually really loved the manicure that I got, but then it like cracked 2 days later, and I was like, oh, they are not as good as Duke is at Ivy and Duke. And that's also when I discovered my love of, and this is like silly, but I literally discovered my love of Koya. I'm obsessed with the Koya protein drinks. So that all happened, and Matt and I went out for ice cream and had a little ice cream date to get some laughs, which was really nice. And then we came home. I came home to the sweetest package, like a grief package from my team at Remedy Nails. And then we started getting gifts in for our engagement. So we got in this electric tea kettle from Bruce and Sandy, and
Food.
It was getting close to my birthday. So Matt started working on, Matt made like a little test cake.
That's a funny one.
For my birthday.
And the pasta salad too.
Yes, and we made
good.
this amazing pasta salad, and we got, or I got, maybe we got, I don't remember, went and got some massages, and then it was my actual birthday. So Matt made a double chocolate layer cake with strawberry frosting. You guys, it was unbelievable. And he also took like the best pictures of me with my cake for my birthday. It was just the fucking best. We also did some, like right before we went out for dinner, we did some photos, which also are, these are some of my favorite photos. Oh, I just love these. These are so fun. And we went and had a little sushi dinner date. So that was really fun. That was a really nice little, like, simple, delightful little birthday. Came home and snuggled with Goody. And then shortly after that, I went to Lilydale with my friend Carly. That was my first, I think, like, trip and outing that Carly and I did together. And we went to Lilydale to see a medium, and that was tremendous. I felt like I got to connect with Ronnie. I got to connect to my old friend Dan, and so that was just a beautiful, that was like a beautiful part of the end of May. And then we did a little birthday dinner with our friends Anya and JP at Giancarlo's. No, at Lombardo's.
Yes.
So that was really fun.
That was a busy time.
Yes, it was a really busy time because then you went and traveled for work.
Mm-hmm. And you had another
And I had another speaking gig. So I was on a panel for Made in Buffalo, which was really cool. I got to sit on that panel with a few incredible Buffalo business owners. I was really, really honored to be picked for that panel. Then Matt got in his suit for our wedding and we headed to Pittsburgh for our engagement party. So that was tremendous. I mean,
early June.
Yes, so now we're in early June. We had the most beautiful weather for our engagement party. We got so freaking lucky and we just had a really good time with my mom's side of the family. It was honestly one of my favorite days. Just one of my favorite days. It was such a great way for us to kick off like wedding season. We were like, oh my God, we're getting married soon. Like it was just such a blur of like, not blur, but like rush and busy time. So this was what really made us realize like, holy shit, we're about to get married. So that was super fun. Honestly, in June, we really kicked up time with Matt's grandparents and we kicked up time spent at the cottage and just like very wedding centric prep kind of stuff.
Scouting locations to take wedding photos.
Exactly.
So there's some funny ones of the trail.
Yep. And we were just going to the cottage all the time. We were mapping different things out. We were figuring out where exactly we were going to have our ceremony at the cottage and just kind of thinking through a lot of different things. We got in a waffle maker. So that was very exciting. That was a really fun little wedding gift to get. And I got to do a brand shoot. I modeled for a little Koya shoot. So that was super fun. And then we went to City Hall to get our freaking marriage license. So that was also very, very exciting. And then we went and we picked up our wedding bands.
Yes.
Holy crap.
June was a busy month.
Very busy month.
Once you see what July was like, you'll understand why.
Yeah, and then I started diving into making friendship bracelets for Taylor Swift because then right around the freaking corner, we were going to Italy. For that, we also had more time at the cottage. I love this picture of your grandma. And yes, and this one. Some breakfast dates. I had another fun little outing with my friend Carly. We went to these lavender fields, which was absolutely phenomenal. It was gorgeous. And we knew that we were going to Colombia by the end of June because I ordered this gorgeous dress for the November wedding in Colombia. And then it was early July and we went to freaking Italy. We flew first class for both of our first times to Italy. We got to Milan. We then took a train and got to Genoa and we stayed at this gorgeous hotel. I mean, at this point, I really should just be linking the Italy vlogs rather than just showing all of these different Italy pictures because we have 1.5 trillion pictures that I could put in here. I mean, they're all so, so good. And from going to the Duomo in Milan to, I mean, I'll let you chime in here about Italy highlights.
At a loss for words.
We went to Verona.
We have a vlog on it, vlogs on it. But yeah, it was like 11 days, felt like even longer. It was as perfect as it could be. Wasn't too hot, but was definitely hot at times. I don't know what else to say.
It was just the best.
Go check out the vlogs.
Yeah, look at the vlogs. The vlogs.
Much more in depth of each spot that we went on the trip. So I'm not doing it justice, almost on purpose. So you have to go watch those vlogs. But it was an amazing trip, and that was why we spent so much of June getting things ready at my grandparents' cottage, because essentially we had the trip booked a year before we even knew we were getting engaged.
Yep.
You know, like, so this trip existed and we needed to work around it, and effectively the point of the trip was to go to see Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So there's a ton of clips from the Taylor Swift concert. It was absolutely incredible. It was my first time seeing her in general, but the Eras tour.
It was unbelievable.
It was everything that you hear and more. When we came back from the trip, we had like 2 weeks and a few days at most until our wedding. So it was as busy as June was. July was even busier with a vacation in the middle of it.
Yep.
And then we
Because-
came back home and had, obligations and things to get done beyond just for the wedding.
Yep.
We went to the theater.
We went to the theater. We had ourselves a little theater date night. I then had myself another dress fitting with my girlfriend Anya. I think she came to 2 of my fittings, but she definitely came to this fitting to help figure out, like, we did like a how to bolster my dress kind of thing. And then right around the corner after that, we did go to Public Espresso one morning. We walked there because we were like, we need to recreate Italy. So we walked to Public and got ourselves espresso shots, which was really fun because I fell very hard.
That's a big 2024
happening for
Yeah.
me. Yes, like
Julia's love of espresso.
I fell in love with espresso, and then literally my sister came into town and it was fucking Bachelorette weekend. So Sarah came into town, and the way we kicked off Bachelorette weekend was we went and we got matching sister tattoos. So I will show you guys a photo of our sister tats, and we just got to hang out, get like quality time together, which is just always the best. And then we headed for the Bachelorette. I got to wear, I loved my Bachelorette outfits. I loved the house. Anya found the most incredible house, and they decorated it so epically with we had mat heads, we had games. Sarah got me like a bride or like a Mrs. sweatshirt. Anya had got me a sweatshirt that said bride. Sarah had made these fun cups with like a cutout of Gouda's face that says mom's getting married. It was just so much fun. Like Missy curled my hair during it. We all got dressed up, and all the girls wore black on the first night, and we just have like really, really sweet pictures, and it was just really, really fun. We walked to dinner. It was just the best. So I've got a bunch of different photos from different moments of us kind of spending time together, and then we closed out the weekend with a little brunch at this cutie spot. So that was the best. And then shortly after, again, we were going back and forth to the cottage a lot. So there are like pictures of us at the cottage and just figuring out last minute things. And then Orlando got into town, which is Sarah's partner, and so not the night before, but the day before our wedding, we did a little dinner with Orlando and Sarah because Orlando had just gotten his citizenship. We were like, well, we need to celebrate this and go out for dinner. So that's exactly what we did. And then it was time for my freaking wedding manicure and wedding time. So we got the tent set up. My mom got into town, and then literally
The wedding.
then it was the wedding. Oh my God. I mean, this is like impossible for me to pick. I'm going to pick just like a few photos because again, you guys then should just go see the actual wedding vlog itself. But
It was perfect.
it was perfect. There's no words really for me. It was everything and more. It was the perfect day. It was the perfect weather. Matt's vows were perfect. The food was perfect. Oh God, it was just the best. I look through these pictures and I'm just like, explain to me how this is real life. Like even just the lighting. My sister made the most epic toast of all time and completely surprised me. We have these photos. So the location scouting we did, little did we know there were gonna be these like wild flowers that like bloomed. I mean, everything really just feels like out of a freaking movie when I look back at these pictures from our wedding day. It's just unbelievable.
So many.
There's
in the best way.
like especially the toast, me just sobbing. Oh my God, just the freaking best. Okay, so things are a little bit out of order here, so you guys got to bear with us. The day before our wedding, we did a little rehearsal dinner at the cottage, which was really nice. So we went to the cottage with everyone, had a low-key little dinner. We had like a really nice night before the wedding, and then the wedding itself was just the absolute best. I just want to include that sweet little family photo of my whole family before the wedding. And yeah, there's so many, literally like thousands of pictures and video clips, which again, that's why you guys need to go see the wedding vlog, because I spent hours putting together that wedding vlog. And then it was the day after our wedding. So we went to the cottage, we did some like kind of cleanup of stuff. And then literally the week after our wedding, I had a huge opportunity, super, super exciting. I did a paid brand deal with McDonald's, and I'll never forget it because in my voiceover, I said my husband. And I remember recording the voiceover in the bedroom and being like, I had to like record it 3 times because I like literally giggled immediately after saying the word husband, and I was like, Julia, you need to calm down. But so that's like a very fun little highlight in association with that brand deal, is I just remember being like so giddy to use the phrase husband for the first time. That was the start of August. In the middle of August, I had more business stuff, more like fun little gatherings. I saw my ambassadors. I actually had one of my former coworkers pop through town, like in Buffalo, and text me. And so I was like, oh my God, hey. So I got to see George DeManis, which was awesome. More ambassador stuff.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe a lot of these photos.
I got some stuff sent to me from Parade, which was cool. And then we got our save the date proofs. So that happened quick. And then August took a little bit of a turn.
Late August.
Late August was not the best, because late August I got into a minor fender bender that then resulted in me needing to completely get a brand new car. So that wasn't the best, but what was the best was the fact that Matt made us fresh pasta for the first time. We got a pasta attachment from my aunt as a wedding gift. And so we made fresh pasta, and then we did have a really nice, it was like the final bits of summer. And so we went to the park and had a really nice day with Gouda. So I will say that was like a really special way to end out kind of summer. And then we had a date night again. We had a little theater date night.
Theater date.
We got to see the prom, which was super funny. And then we ended up going to Pittsburgh for a little weekend in Pittsburgh. So we got to spend some time with my great aunts, and we got to go to Studebaker Meadows, as well as go to the botanical, Phipps Conservatory with my mom and my mom's neighbor. Her daughter has a dog named Benjamin, and he looks like a mini Gouda, and they happen to be in town. We've gotten really lucky with visiting our parents on the same weekend, so our dogs get to play, which is really fun.
More sushi date nights.
More sushi date nights.
More me baking cookies.
Matt making cookies.
Life happening of like post
your mom's surgery, so we've got a lot of time we've got some time with the dogs. And then my friend Rohini came into town briefly, and so I got some time with her. We went to a bar and met up with her, which was awesome. And then Letchworth, wow, now we're already in late September.
End of September.
End of September, my dad came to visit, and we had a really nice time with him. It started out with us going to Letchworth, and then we did a little mini stay at the lake house all together. So me, Matt, my dad, and Gouda. It was Gouda's first hotel stay, and it was really nice to get that quality time with my dad. I really needed that at that time. My mom ended up sending me a really sweet card, and Matt ended up sending me a really sweet text message. I was just going through it at the start of October. It was hard saying goodbye to the car. Like, it was just a bit of an emotional time, and there was just so much going on because I needed to then buy a totally new car. We then went to our sporting event, our annual sporting event of the season. We went to the Sabres home opener, got my nails done. We went car shopping.
You bought a new car.
And I bought a new freaking car. We made some homemade pizzas. Then we had a really fun fall photo shoot with the same woman, Katie, who did our wedding photos. So these photos were epic. I mean, this was so much fun to get to do this shoot. I love so many of these photos. Like
perfect fall photos, honestly.
Literally.
We had a date schedule that got moved by like a weekend or two, which worked out perfectly because the leaves hadn't fallen yet. We had a very warm and dry September and October. And so like there were still green trees in mid-October. When we had our shoot, the colors had just changed. It was still warm out, like it was comfortable for us to be out. We did it on like a Friday afternoon. It was like the perfect start to a weekend because the light was just perfect. It was like a bonus day almost. It's like you work during the day and then, you go and take photos, and it was like really fun. And I don't think that exists for everyone when they want to take photos. Which is like, you don't always get energy from doing it, and it was really enjoyable. I think that's
a great point.
A great description of why we've done 3 photo shoots. Maybe 4, no, 3.
3 if we don't count our wedding, 4 if we do count our wedding. But yeah, it was just so much fun, and the photos turned out unbelievably well. And then there was a big event for Goodwill with our ambassadors for that. It was a really big event, and it went so well. And then we had like just a little bit of gorgeous random weather in the middle of October. And so we took advantage of that. We had a little day where we just like went out, got some sunshine. So that was really good. And then I did some different content shoots with different photographers and like creators in Buffalo, some like downtown content, a lot more Goodwill stuff, like a lot. And then I got my disco ball tattoo. So that was very, very exciting. That was the end of October. And then we went to Giancarlo's. Then we had ourselves a very, very fancy date night because Matt got himself an epic promotion, truly unbelievable. And then it was my annual business retreat. So Matt went away for a work trip and I took myself to the lake house for some time away. I created a bunch of content, a bunch of video content, a bunch of photos here. It was a super, super productive time for me. So that was really, really exciting. And then again,
back to the theater.
Back to the theater. I had some mental breakdowns because we had friend breakups, we had an election, you know, we had our fair share of mentee bees, so I'll throw in one of those. Some more date nights, which was just so much fun. We got to see Rotten, which was
Something Rotten.
Something Rotten.
Rotten.
We got to see Something Rotten. So now we're freaking in November.
It's too funny how wait till we get to the end of the year. Like the trends I'm seeing just by scrolling the camera roll shows up consistently, which is very fun. But we hit mid-November and went to Colombia for Ben and Danny's wedding, which was an incredible time. It was a quick trip, given that we went all the way down to Colombia, which is like due south of New York City. So it's like an 6-hour flight, same time zone. The people were incredible. The country is absolutely gorgeous, and the time with friends and family was just perfect.
Yep. It was really so good. The food was really good. We had some amazing food in Bogota. We danced so much at the wedding. Like, it was just amazing to get the time with family friends, with some of my like old friends that are Ben's friends. It was fantastic. I'm so glad that even though it was a crazy busy time for us, we actually made it to Colombia and like went to that wedding because it was just so much fun. And then literally the week, like the day after we came back from Colombia, we had another theater date night. But this one we went to Shays. So we went to Shays to see And Juliet. And so we had that. I then again had another event with Goodwill. And then we did an early Christmas with my mom at the end of November. So it was really fun because Sarah came into town.
Before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, literally even before Thanksgiving.
We came back from Colombia, went to Shays, and within 2 days we're in the car to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
The last 2 months have been like the busiest way to end out the year in terms of travel. I mean, you were to and from a lot of places, had a lot of events. I was traveling all around. I feel like in the airport was like the way I would describe the last 2 months.
Yep.
And I wouldn't change it for anything.
When we got back from Colombia, also, I got an amazing PR package from Undercover. I was very, very excited about that. And then we had Thanksgiving. We had a low-key Thanksgiving at Matt's mom's, just the family. We don't even have a picture of the whole family, but we have Matt. We have a little selfie of me and Matt and Gouda. Matt and I dressed in like sweatpants, like we were so low-key chill vibes. And then the way end of November ended with us getting set up for Christmas. So getting our Christmas tree set up, which is so exciting, and filming a little brand deal for Canyon Bakehouse. So that was really, really great. And then December started. I got these nails that I have right now. I did more work with Goodwill. I went thrifting. I got the Kitsch advent calendar. I'm not like sharing any pictures of this. And now we're here.
We're here. Halfway through December.
Absolutely crazy. Holy crap. Wow.
The trends in going through the camera roll from the start of the year to the end of the year is going to the theater.
Yep.
You getting your nails done.
Yep.
And Goodwill.
And Goodwill. So much Goodwill. Like, so much Goodwill.
And it's not to take away from, getting engaged, planning a wedding, going to Italy.
Yeah.
Going to see Taylor Swift, getting married, 3 photo shoots.
Yeah.
It's been the perfect year.
It's really been such a good year. I hope that you guys liked this video. Hopefully this wasn't boring for you guys, but I do it also for me. I want to be able to look back and see the highlights. So whether or not you guys like it, we're here for it. But I do want to know if you guys like this style of video. Like if you guys like when we like sit down on the couch, chit chat with you.
He's been here this whole time.
He's been here this entire time, literally just laying. Literally just laying. Maybe we should have been this close the whole time. That's okay, whatever. We're gonna refilm this entire, just kidding. But yeah, if you guys made it this far, hit the thumbs up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. It means the world. If you are still watching, here's the question of the day. What was your 2024 highlight? I wanna know, put it in the comments because I wanna be able to celebrate you and give you a little round of applause and congratulate you on some of your biggest accomplishments for 2024. It was such a good year. We both grew so much professionally. Our relationship, I feel like, grew. Like, I just feel like marriage has been, like, we've had a very, very good and like real start to marriage. Like, it was like we got married and I like pretty soon after like had a fender bender. Matt's mom had surgery. Like, we had like real life things to just dive into and deal with. And so it's not to say that I don't still feel like we're like in a little honeymoon season. I still get giddy every time I say the word husband, but it's to say that it was like we got married and it was like, okay, time to just like keep on lifing. And so yeah, I feel like we've gotten closer through the things that we've had to like navigate and deal with as a result of like just immediately after getting married, just having different things kind of thrown in our plate. I had a major friend break up that Matt like quite literally physically helped hold me through. And so even things like that, like major loss like that, brings people, I mean, I guess it can bring people apart, but in our case, I feel very grateful for the communication dynamic that we have, that like I feel like these kinds of things just end up making us closer and improving our...
It was such a go year. It was like, it was, okay, what's next? Not ignoring the good things while they're happening, but that's that interplay. I mean, I think something that's left out of all of 2024 recap is Julia growing her business like crazy. And so I think that alone requires a dynamic where you're communicating clearly and often, and you know, that sort of teamwork day in and day out, which made post-wedding not feel as like
honeymoony.
Because we were going for it. And we went for it and we achieved it collectively.
So true.
In the year, and there's just so much more to come in 2025.
Yeah. That's a perfect place to end. So much more to come in 2025. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Hello. Welcome back.
This still feels kind of far.
Is it far?
I'll wait for you to come. Excuse me. You want to be in the video? He does not want to be in the vlog. That's hilarious.
February 18th, I got sent to this.
Okay, you're being so annoying.